So let's consider some basic facts on locally compact Hausdorff spaces. Of course, we need Hausdorffness to have some nice analytic properties like existence of unique limits and so on. So we will consider those topological spaces which enjoy both local compactness as well as Hausdorff property. So if you start with a locally compact Hausdorff space X, then the first theorem says that if X is a point in X and it has an open neighborhood U, then there exists an open neighborhood V of X such that V, the closure of V sits inside U. So this is about small compact neighborhoods, existence of small compact neighborhoods, meaning that no matter how small this open neighborhood U is, there is something smaller, V is something smaller, which contains, whose closure is contained in U. So this is the first nice theorem that we shall need. And the second one is a very important result in topology, and this is called Urysohn's lemma. Even though it's called a lemma, I'll state it as a theorem because it's quite important. And this Urysohn's lemma states that given a compact set K in X and an open set V which contains K, so open set V containing K, there exists a continuous function f from X to C such that the first property is that the support of f is compact and lies in V, meaning that support of f is a subset of V. And secondly, that f is identically equal to 1 on K and f is 0 outside V, meaning on V complement it is 0. So Urysohn's lemma guarantees the existence of such a function on locally compact Hausdorff spaces. Here we can actually take the range to be 0, 1 rather than the whole complex numbers, because f only takes values between 0 and 1. So we will use Urysohn's lemma to create what are called partitions of unity. So before I go to the partition of unity result, let's fix some notation. So we will say that we will write that K, let me call it less than F. So this will mean that K is compact, F is a continuous function with compact support on X such that it lies between, the range of f lies between 0 and 1, and then finally that f is identically equal to 1 on K. So this is the notation in this case. A second notation that we will use is f less than V, and this will mean that V is an open set, f is still a continuous function with compact support, with the values between 0 and 1, and that the support of f is contained inside V. So this means that f is identically equal to 0 on V complement. So in terms of this notation, Urizone's lemma with this notation states that given K compact sitting inside V open, so this is compact and this is open, there exists a continuous function with compact support such that K is a subset of f is less than f is less than V. So I am putting together these two parts of the notation, and this means that f has range between 0 and 1, and f is 1 on K and f is 0 on K and f is 0 on the complement of V. Note that this is also the same as saying that this also means that we have the inequality, we have the pointwise inequality with the indicator function of the compact set K is less than or equal to f, and it is less than or equal to the indicator function of V. So we are trying to sandwich a continuous function in between the indicator function of a compact set and the indicator function of an open set. So let's see the statement of the partition of unity theorem. It says that on a locally compact Hausdorff space X, if we have a finite collection of open sets V1, V2, Vn, these are all open in X, and if you have a compact set K is compact, which is contained in the union of these Vi's, then there exist functions phi I less than Vi. Remember that this means that support of first that phi I is a continuous function with compact support with values between 0 and 1, and support of phi I is a subset of Vi. So there exists for each I a function, continuous function with compact support phi I, whose support lies inside Vi, and such that for any x in this compact set K, we have that the sum of phi I from 1 to n evaluated at x sums up to 1, and this is why it's called a partition of unity. Partition of unity, because you are breaking up this function which is identically 1 on K into parts which has support inside, compact support inside Vi. So this collection phi I equal to 1 to n is called a partition of unity subordinate to the collection Vi equal to 1 to n. So let's try to see how to prove this partition of unity, existence of this partition of unity using the Urizone's lemma. So to prove this, we will use the first theorem that we saw about existence of small compact neighborhoods. So from theorem 1 above, for each x in the compact set K, there exists a neighborhood, an open neighborhood, let's call it Wx of x, such that the closure of Wx lies in some Vi for some I. And now we can take the open cover of the unions of these Wx, x in K, and this contains K. So by compactness, there exists x1, x2 finitely many points, x m say, such that K is a subset of the finite union I equal to 1 to m Wxi, and so for each I in 1 to n, define Hi to be the union of the compact sets Wxi bar, such that these Wx, let's write K here, Wxk bar, such that Wxk bar lies in Vi. So once we fix I, we only choose those Wxi's whose closure is a subset of Vi. So this union is a compact set sitting inside Vi. So now Urizone's lemma implies that there exists a function Ci, it's a continuous function with compact support, such that Hi less than Ci less than Vi. So this means that Ci is identically 1 on Hi and vanishes outside Vi. Ci is identically 1 on Hi and Ci is 0 on Vi complement. And of course we have 0 less than or equal to Ci less than or equal to 1 for all x. So now we will define our phi i's, the required partition of unity, using these Ci's. So define phi 1 to be C1, phi 2 to be 1 minus C1 times C2, phi 3 to be 1 minus C1, 1 minus C2 times C3, and so on. We can define for each I up from 1 to n phi I. The last one will be the product of 1 minus C1, 1 minus C2, and so on up to 1 minus Cn minus 1 and multiplied by Cn. So now check the following formula, that the summation of phi I equal to 1 to n is nothing but 1 minus C1, 1 minus C2 up to 1 minus Cn. So for example, you can prove this by induction. Prove by induction. For example, if you have just 2 phi1 plus phi2, this is 1 minus, so first one is C1 plus 1 minus C1 times C2, and so this is equal to C1 plus C2 minus C1 C2, and if you add and subtract 1, so let me add 1 and subtract 1, and we can collect. So I'll take the positive 1 and we can collect the other terms as 1 minus C1 times 1 minus C2, because this is nothing but 1 minus C1 minus C2 plus C1 C2, and so there is a minus sign here which takes care of the which gives you the right formula. So we can do it for 2, and then we can assume for I and rather assume for n minus 1 and prove it for n. So I leave it as an exercise to prove this result by induction. And now, since K is a subset of the union of hi's I equal to 1 to n, for each x in K, x belongs to hi for some I, and therefore Ci of x equals 1. So this implies that 1 minus C1, 1 minus C2, 1 minus C3 up to 1 minus Cn applied at x. So this function applied at x, this is just the pointwise multiplication, this is 0 for any x. So this implies that the summation of phi ix I equal to 1 to n, which is 1 minus this product, let me write the product I equal to 1 to n, 1 minus Cix, this is 0, so this is equal to 1. So this proves the existence of partitions of unity, which we will use quite significantly in the proof of the Riesz representation theorem.